20 bizarre photos that will make everyone realize just how little we know about the world. The world is a strange place, and there's no better receptacle for all its oddities than the internet. After all, if you took a picture of something weird, where else would you go to show it off? Look on if you dare. It doesn't get any weirder than this. 1. Woo, it's a trash party. You know what they say, ain't no party like a trash party, because a trash party is a deeply depressing look at what happens when wastefulness gets the better of humanity. 2. Those talons sure look familiar, don't they? You have to admit, though, for a woman who may or may not have some chicken DNA, she doesn't actually look half bad. Many people wouldn't mind having those talons if it meant getting those ups. 3. This tree is simply determined to rebel. It must have been thinking, what, you're going to try to hold me back like that? You foolish humans. Didn't it occur to you that I might have a backup plan of my own? 4. It would appear that Cirque du Soleil is missing a performer. Make no mistake, this woman has a gift, yet she appears to be wasting her time checking her phone on a New York City subway instead of using her powers constructively. 5. Was that silly kitty suffering from a bee sting, or did he decide to get a collagen injection? It's up to you to decide. Regardless, surely we can all agree that as uncomfortable as he looks, it's still pretty hilarious. 6. There seems to be a real light versus dark motif going on in this woman's fashion choices, not the least of which being her strikingly black right eye. Whether or not she was born this way, it's sure to turn heads. 7. I don't think there are enough hood ornaments on this thing. I'd better add another shelf so I can fit in a few more. Maybe this driver is onto something, actually. Perhaps the hood ornaments would protect him in an accident. 8. This might be a huge problem. At first glance, that bug may not even look real. Besides the fact that he's just so darn large, he practically looks like he could be made out of plastic or some other synthetic material. Let's hope so. 9. Holy moly, that's an eagle. How on earth could he have found himself in this mess? Was there some sort of rodent in the basket, and things just got out of hand? Eagles are majestic creatures, but even they can be clumsy sometimes. 10. That does not look like it's a particularly safe way to transport a log. More importantly, though, why couldn't he just put it in the truck? Was he trying to use it as a makeshift bumper? Good luck with that, buddy. 11. This seems like a bit extreme measure if you're trying to get your furry friend to keep his sharp teeth to himself. Sure, he may not be able to bite you, but don't you think he'd be even more angry at you for making him wear such a ridiculous thing? 12. That's certainly one way to try to identify your luggage at the airport. In this man's defense, he does seem to have the right idea. Who in their right mind would ever want to steal something quite this silly anyway? 13. Yummy, pig's lips in vinegar. That's just what we all want to find in the fridge after a long day when we haven't eaten anything. Also, it's easy to question whether or not such an item can really be that farm fresh. 14. Whose hand, exactly, is this woman holding? It's frighteningly easy to imagine that these hands could have once belonged to somebody who unwittingly took part in some sort of horrifying experiment in a horror film. 15. This may seem like an ordinary, boring photo at first, but take a closer look at where the woman in blue's right hand is. It certainly looks like she's going right through that man's shoulder. Also, are those wax replicas of these people? 16. Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like that orange is safe to eat. There has to be a logical explanation somewhere of how this could have happened, but for the sake of your sanity, you may be better off not knowing. 17. That certainly is an impressive stunt. It must have taken a lot of practice to master, and hopefully they did so wearing some sort of protective padding rather than skimpy bikinis on a hard surface. 18. Well, at least somebody is smiling in this picture. Some people may find themselves disturbed by the look of this bizarre animal and his strange expression, but in a way, It's actually charming. At least he's in a good mood. Know what he is? He's a wombat. 19. Aside from this woman's striking series of tattoos all over her body, those eyes are certainly not your average baby blues. In fact, she actually looks like she could be a character in some sort of animated film. 20. Someone's a bit of a hoarder, aren't they? In a way, it might make a strange sort of sense. After all, it's quite common for people to keep a bunch of old junk in their cars, so why couldn't they do the same with motorcycles? These photos may be too weird for many people's comfort. Even so, the fact that they're so baffling makes them even more fascinating.